Shh. We're gonna awaken the dreamer inside. But do we want to shush or do we want to scream? Hello, I'm Frank Future and welcome to the Vanguard Light, where we help energy sensitive people take it to the next level. And today we're talking about awakening the dreamer inside. One of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to relax here by the water up here on the cliff. Just take a moment to just take a breather, right? Just going to be calm for here a second. Just breathe. Kind of just imagine the day just draining down through our feet. If you're sitting down through your bum, just let it all drain down, right? We're just looking out here. Looking out. Listen to the crow. Crow's looking out. Just relaxing. So we're going to start dreaming. We're just going to kind of slow it down, right? We're going to go into this place of infinite possibility. Because the first thing is, when you got stuff to do, that's like the level 1 of the mind. Just got stuff to do. Got to get stuff done. Right? And then kind of level 2 is where it's like, what do other people think? What are they going to think about stuff? Right? That's your level 2. Then you sink down a little further, it's like, ooh, what will I think? What will I think about that? But now if we sink down past all 3 of those, where we don't have to worry about what we think, we don't have to worry about what other people think, and we're not caught up with the busy of the day, now we can start getting to a place like anything's possible. You can think of something that pops in your mind of like, oh, what if I did that, right? First thing might come up of like, what would other people think? Oh, we're not going there. We're just going to start kind of like this water out here. We're going to do this like lake, a deep lake of infinite possibility. So we're just going to open that up. If anything's possible. And maybe even roll back to a kid of like, what did you want to do as a kid? I'm not saying you have to do it. We're just going to roll back. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. But the reason I wanted to be a mechanical engineer is I thought they made video games. I loved video games as a kid. I thought that's what mechanical engineers did. They make video games. So there you go. That's where that came from. But just thinking of like, what would you want to create? And it could be anything. Just start imagining it. I remember I was asked that question in a Tony Robbins seminar. And they were like, because I never was asked that question. And I was kind of like, just imagine anything. And I remember what I came up with. I came up with 2 things. I wanted to pet Godzilla, and I wanted the Starship Enterprise. Think big. It even led me to this idea of like the Death Star. I was like, I want a Death Star. And I thought of like a whole, and I started like playing like, well, what if that was true? And just being like, okay, you'd have to develop new technologies. And I thought about like all this, like, how would I fund it? And I could do all these different contests for like, kids in kindergarten, because you get all different age groups would come up with all different ideas, and they might spur that magic that could make it happen, right? And one of them was like, you get a ride in the Death Star, pre-sale tickets for a ride in the Death Star around Saturn. But hopefully that's just to tell that story, kind of opened your mind of like, ooh, what would be possible? Just take it a moment. Then when we have to do it, just going to start going into this sea, this lake of infinite possibility of like, if we weren't in our own way, we weren't worried about other people say, and we weren't just too dang busy. What's possible? What's possible? Just let your mind drift over. What's a dream you always wanted? Just think of a dream. Just picture in your mind that happening. We're not saying you gotta go do it. Just picture it like, oh, that's what that picture would look like if I've done that, if that happened. Let's pick another one up, like, oh, what would that look like? You know, in your mind. Notice how you can do stuff in your mind that seems to be impossible in this 3D reality. But how you can do it in your mind. Like, I could imagine a Death Star. I could imagine it going around Saturn. And what happens if that was the truth? What you could imagine was the truth. Not what shows up or what's in currently the 3D world, but what you imagine is possible. I mean, just think of all the stuff that's been created. Like a car. I mean, that's commonplace now. Cars, trucks. That's nothing, right? But there's a time and a place where that didn't exist. I mean, the concept of a car or truck didn't exist. The even potential was unheard of. That wasn't that long ago. But it started here, though. It started in your mind. What if any of the things that we've seen in the physical world are similar to that? So we're just going to take a little time out here, getting away from level 1 mind. We're just busy. You know, and you can do this too. Come out to a natural setting and just take a moment. Not have it to do. Not have a task. And just think on stuff. Think on stuff that's possible. You know, and just let that, like, wow. What if I could just imagine stuff? And then that would be possible. If I didn't get in my own way, and then have other people get in my way, you know, see how much further it's like, wow, what could I do? What could happen? What would have to be invented for that to occur? You know, because it could just be one invention away. Maybe that invention's inside of you. Let's go on something that, like, think of something that you want or did want at some point that might have been, like, controversial, right? But there's a desire at some point, like, yeah, I want that. I just want to explore. It's not to go after it. It's not like we're goal setting. We're just exploring these limitations. Just doing a little exploring. You know, giving a little push on them, seeing how real, solid they are. Coming at them at the 5D. But think of something that was controversial, right? And if you think about it, why it was controversial, or why you possibly didn't want to do it, it's because it was what other people thought. Yeah? What would other people think? What would my friends think? What would my family think? But that's not a physical reality, is it? That's just what they thought. That's all in the non-physical. And we don't even know what they thought. It's what we imagine. So look at that. It's something that we imagined they would think, because we didn't do it. It was something that we thought about doing, but we didn't. And once again, that was in the non-physical world. We imagined them not liking it. We imagined how we would feel. And then we imagined we shouldn't do it. But we're going to unimagine that. Of like, and just realize that that was just something we created. That wasn't something that has to stop us. Doesn't mean we're supposed to go after that. We're just seeing that, how that's a little bit malleable. Because there might be some bigger goals you've got right now or that are coming up. And this is how you can take a little time out. Like, first, just get out of the crazy of the day. That's first. Gotta get out of level 1, crazy of the day. And then look at all your doubts and fears and be like, okay, how much is that connected with what I'm projecting other people will think? Right? And just say, oh, okay, it's coming from projection of other people think. Then how much is it, like, you know, coming from your own, of like who you are? But that changes. I mean, just think as you as a baby and think as you now. You're different. Wildly different. So you're like, oh, I'm not that kind of person. But that could change. That could be changed by a choice. I'm not saying to choose it. I'm just starting to push on that a little bit to see that, hey, that ain't so fixed. That's not so much my limitation. Oh, there's stuff in there. We're just putting it where it is, where it's coming from. What's the place of it? Nothing to change here. Not amping it up. Just taking a moment to explore it. Nothing to do but wonder. Well, hope you like that. Just a little break from all the stuffs. Take a moment out. Get a bird's eye view with all these birds that we've been hearing. It's like, limitations aren't so solid, aren't so real. Doesn't mean we change them yet. We're just getting a peaceful look at them. So, until we talk again, have a blessed day or a blessed night.